The sound you hear is what some experts claim to be a Bigfoot scream. Recorded in the state of Washington by a group of campers in 1971, it is regarded as the highest quality audio of the creature ever captured.
Hello, welcome to Bigfoot Real Encounters. We're glad to have you stop by. We'd also like to take this time to invite you to share your encounter. You can send your stories to the email bfrealencounters@mail.com, where we will feature your story with all of the respect that it deserves. So send your stories in, bfrealencounters@mail.com. We look forward to hearing from you and your great stories soon. Hello everyone, welcome to Bigfoot Real Encounters. This is your host Chris. I'd like to extend a welcome to all of our brand new viewers, as well as all of our returning viewers. This is a safe place to present your encounters. As we all know by now, encounters with Bigfoot tend to be negative, have symptoms of PTSD going on. And as our last video with Dale from Tennessee, he explains that he was not going back into the woods for a period of about 2 years. And his encounter was not nearly as aggressive as some of the other ones. That just shows the impact that these creatures have on people. It is a devastating impact, especially if the Bigfoot scream at you or chase you out. It is a much deeper effect on a person. So this is a safe place to get these stories off your chest, as well as to present it to other people so that they're warned of what is actually out there. Because those whom we have entrusted by election, when we elect them into office to protect us and serve us, which, you know, we don't elect people to rule us. We're ruled by law, not people. That's what rule of law means, folks. We are ruled by the laws, not by people. Those whom we elect, we have them run the system that provides services to all of us while we make our living and enjoy our lives. They don't rule us. But anyways, that's for another video topic. So, we're getting the information out amongst each other as to what's out there and how they behave and what we can do about it. You will be believed. We will not ridicule you. It doesn't matter if the news media ridicules you and authorities ridicule you and don't believe you, and if family members have been taught to ridicule you and to push you aside and say that it was nothing, it was your imagination, or you are full of it, they are full of it for not having the back of their family members, people whom they are supposed to love and have your back. Anyways, enough of that rant. We'll have your back. We will believe you. We will present your encounter as written, without the cuss words. I always state that. You already know that. And if you've watched the last video, Dale presented a short video introduction of himself, and if you like that, you can do that. Get a video of yourself saying, okay, here's where I saw the thing, and send it in. I'll play it. I won't cut you off. If you say you saw Bigfoot dancing a jig around the fire, that's what we're going to say. And that's what we'll tell folks. And we will believe you. Okay? All right. So, we're going to continue going state by state. And today we're going to take a look at the state of Nebraska. Dakota County, Nebraska. This happened in the fall of 1998, September to be exact, and reads, In September 1998, me and my brother-in-law and his girlfriend, which wished to remain anonymous, were walking down the gravel road that I lived on. It was about 2 a.m. We were about 1 mile away from my house, and we smelled this horrible smell, almost like the smell of something dead, but stronger. We looked around, but couldn't see anything, considering how dark it was. We walked a little bit farther and decided to turn around and go home. As we came across the spot that smelled so bad, we noticed that there was no smell anymore. So we decided to look around a little more. On both sides of the road were ditches that are about 8 to 10 feet deep. We walked over to the side of the road where we originally smelled that bad smell. As we got to the edge of the road, a creature that looked to be about 7 foot to 8 foot tall suddenly stood up. It was very dark that night, but the creature looked to be the size of a grizzly bear. But there are no bears in the area I live in. Needless to say, it scared the heck out of us. And my brother-in-law's girlfriend screamed, and the creature took off running, as did we. As we were running back home, we saw 3 deer running in the cornfield near the road. I slowed down for a second and watched them. Then I heard this extremely loud, screeching kind of howling sound. I wasn't sure what it was we saw or heard that night, and wasn't much of a believer in Bigfoot. But then this last summer, I was watching Weird Travels on the Sci-Fi Channel. They were talking about Bigfoot, and they explained exactly what we saw, heard, and smelled that night. I never mentioned anything about it till now for fear of criticism, but I am now a strong believer in Bigfoot and want more than anyone to prove these amazing creatures do exist. This is almost kind of humorous. The creature took off running, as did we. Yeah, I would have too. That would be startling to say the least. My goodness. And you know what? Another example of a Bigfoot encounter without having to beat on the side of a tree with a stick and howling into the air. Wow, isn't that something, folks? Let's take a time out here. I encourage you to like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon so that you are notified when future videos are published. Also, be sure and consider joining the Facebook group Bigfoot Anonymous. I set that up specifically for people who've had encounters wishing to interact with other people who've had encounters. It's a meeting place. It has the capability of rooms to that you can set up and go into, a video chat or regular chat. You can talk about your encounters. Everything stays private in this group. I will not source it for material for the YouTube channel. But you cannot see what's going on in there unless you join. And there are rules that you will keep things private and not take them out of there. And be honest and truthful and kind. Those type of things. I mean, just human decency. All right? Consider joining that. Also, if you've had an encounter, and most people listening and watching these videos have had an encounter or know somebody who has, send in your encounter. bfrealencounters at mail.com. We can keep you anonymous if you want, or I can just call you Bob, or whatever. Or you can do as Dale did in the last video and send in your own introduction, or just do the whole thing yourself if you want. I'll produce it, send it out. So let's check and see if we have some more stories here. And we do have another one. In the fall, September again. This is Dawes County in the year 2003. This one reads, I had never thought of looking on the internet to report what my ex-girlfriend, a friend, and I saw one night. didn't know what a nationwide report site was on the net. At the time, we were students at the local college. We drove one night out to Red Cloud Campground, adjacent to Chadron State Park, and parked on the parking pad at a campsite. We were in the car with the windows up. I recall the exact campsite. It was a full moon on a fall night in September of 2003. The grass was still green. This location is in the Pine Ridge, an escarpment, a part of Nebraska National Forest, just adjacent to Chadron State Park. We were parked facing up a ridge. We'd been sitting for about half an hour when, uphill in an area clear from some trees, this area is mostly covered by ponderosa pine trees. About 40 feet away, we saw something on 2 feet run across our view out the front window. Had to be running at least 30 miles an hour. From the silhouette that we saw, it was very tall, not exceptionally bulky. It had a rangy or sinewy build and looked muscular from the silhouette. It was a full moon, but there are no lights in or around this campground. It ran by way too fast to notice any hair features. We all looked at each other and said, like, "What the heck was that?" We were all bewildered, and my girlfriend was really scared. I definitely knew we had witnessed something extraordinarily strange, and we got the heck out of there. We didn't even go around to the loop to turn around, because that was toward where it was running. Note that we knew there was no one at all parked or camping up there while we were there, because we went around the loop upon entering. We went back there the next day during the daylight to see where it would have been running. There's a lot of brush, grass, stumps, and bushes where this thing was running through. And in my opinion, there's no human that can run that fast through there, even in the daytime. I've told people I might have seen Bigfoot, but like most people, they just think I'm full of it. I don't lie, and I would never have anticipated seeing something like that. As to my knowledge at that point, there were reports of Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest area, not Nebraska. I camped at the campground last summer with my current girlfriend. Didn't see anything unusual, but got really bad vibes after revisiting my past memory. We were the only ones camping out there. Every other time we went camping out there, it was with multiple people. Yeah, see, there we go again. People just saying that you're full of it if you tell them that you've had this encounter. This is a trained reaction that people have due to years of authorities doing this to us when we say that we have encountered these creatures, as well as UFOs and other things. It's just not right. But on this channel here, we will believe you. And if this is your encounter that you posted on the BFRO website that I'm narrating here, I want to hear from you. Reach me at bfrealencounters@mail.com. We would love to talk to you. Maybe you have additional details. Maybe you've had encounters since then, or anything else that you'd like to talk about. We would love to hear from you. All right, let's see if we can find another encounter in the state of Nebraska, which seems kind of like he said here. We've heard about encounters in the Pacific Northwest, not Nebraska. Yes, kind of unlikely place, but here they are. They're everywhere, folks. All right, we have one here from way back in 1975. It's the summer month. Let me see, Sarpy County, Nebraska. This says the following occurred in 1975 when I was 14 years old. My family lived in Bellevue, Nebraska, near Offutt Air Force Base, where my father had recently retired from the U.S. Air Force after 24 years of active duty. I now live in Florida. Actually, this incident was a series of 3 encounters over a 3-day period. A bit of background seems necessary. My girlfriend lived on the next block. Our houses were separated by a field with a stand of trees on the north side of the field. The stand of trees was approximately 20 feet wide at that time and ran east to west. The stand of trees ran the east to Bellevue Boulevard. On the east side of Bellevue Boulevard was a heavily forested area that was either a part of or bordered Fontanelle Forest. I would go over to my girlfriend's house and visit until it was time for me to go back home. My curfew was 10 p.m. during the summer. The first incident occurred as I was crossing the field on my way home around 10 p.m. I was walking in a northwest direction with the thick stand of trees to my right. I heard heavy footfalls and occasional snapping of branches within the stand of trees. Whatever it was within the trees, was paralleling me. When I stopped, it stopped. When I began walking again, it began walking. It was very dark in the field and I could not see anything. After several stops and starts, I became somewhat frightened and ran the rest of the way across the field, climbed over the 4-foot chain link fence that surrounded our backyard, and ran up our backyard. It was basically a hill and into the house. The second incident happened the very next night. This occurrence happened exactly the same way as the first incident. The final incident happened on the third night. As I crossed the field, I again heard the heavy footfalls and snapping of small branches within the stand of trees. However, this time I was not being paralleled. The thing was heading in a southwest direction, which placed it on an intercept course to my northwest direction of travel. I could hear it getting closer, but could not see anything because of the extreme darkness. Near the point of interception, I began to smell a foul odor. The odor was very strong and almost made me gag. By now, the footfalls were very near. I could feel the thing cross in front of me very close, but could not see anything. The footfalls were now on my left. At this point, I became extremely scared and began running across the field. I'm not sure, but I suspect I cleared our 4-foot fence without even touching it. About halfway up the hill of our backyard, I stopped. I can't explain why I did this, but I simply felt compelled to do so. I turned around and saw what had crossed my path. The backyard and a portion of the field was nicely illuminated by a floodlight my father had put on the back of the house. Standing at the edge of the field next to a clothesline pole was a creature on 2 legs. It was covered in dark brown hair. I estimate the height at 7 feet. This is based on the fact that the clothesline pole was 6 feet in height and the creature's head was a good foot above the top of the pole. I was approximately 40 to 50 feet from it, but could not make out any facial features. I recall that there was eye shine, but I can't recall the color. Possibly reddish. The thing was extremely thick across the chest. The arms hung almost to the knees. This thing was very muscular. We stood there staring at each other for approximately 20 seconds before I turned and ran into my house. I chickened out before it did. Well, yeah, I guess I would too. My, oh my, oh my. And this one is a little bit more of a scary one when the thing's kind of stalking him. But it didn't seem aggressive. It just kind of, shadowed him, stalked him a little bit, and really scared him. And these type of things have an impact on people that lasts for years and years and a lifetime. So I'm glad you were able to get this out. If this is your story and you happen to have stumbled across this and hearing me narrate it, I do want to hear from you. Maybe you have more insight, more details that you'd like to share with folks. Maybe you've had additional encounters in the same area. Would love to hear from you. Fall is officially upon us, folks. Still got some nice weather ahead of us for fishing, camping, walking, hiking, all these things. Have some picnics coming up and getting into the hunting season. And as always, remember, keep an eye on the tree line to see what's keeping an eye on you. We'll see you in the next one. Once again, another great story. Thanks for tuning in. Please share your encounter. Email us, bfrealencounters@mail.com. Your story is very important. We will treat it with the respect that it deserves. Also, be sure to smash the like button, share, and subscribe. Thanks once again. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Watch out for our next video. Maybe we'll feature yours. Have a great day.